If there's one thing I've learned about chasing your desires, it's this. The tighter you grip, the faster they slip through your fingers. You can bleed for it, sweat for it, crawl through broken glass thinking you'll finally hold the life you want in your hand. But here's the brutal truth. No one tells you the universe doesn't reward desperation. It punishes it. You chase, you press, you grind your soul into dust, and somehow everything you want runs further into the distance. She leaves. The promotion vanishes. Your health cracks. And the harder you chase it all, the emptier your chest feels at the end of the night. But relax. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to turn that around, how to stop chasing and start magnetizing every single thing you want without begging, without stressing, without losing your edge. And we'll do it the Stoic way, raw, masculine, brutally honest. See, they'll tell you to manifest by smiling at the mirror like some kind of neutered lab experiment. They'll tell you to repeat soft little mantras, to visualize abundance, to align your chakras while you sit cross-legged like a houseplant waiting for sunlight. Meanwhile, the real world's burning. Rent's due. She ghosted you. Your chest feels hollow, your mind's spinning, and some punk with half your brains and zero your discipline is living the life you want. That's when the panic sets in. You try harder, you double down on the hustle, you grip the steering wheel of life so tight your knuckles turn white and still it slips away. But here's the thing no one warned you about. Life doesn't bow to pressure. She doesn't return because you're desperate. The money doesn't fall in your lap because you're grinding yourself to dust. The body, the peace, the success, it doesn't respond to force. And this isn't soft talk. This is ancient truth, the kind of masculine wisdom men used to carve into stone. You want to manifest. You have to relax. You have to let go, not of the goal, but of the grip. You have to walk like the outcome's already yours, breathe like nothing's missing, move like a storm calm on the surface, violent with purpose underneath. I still remember sitting in that bar, same spot every Friday, eyes locked on the door. She was gone left 3 months back, and every part of me thought, maybe she'd walk through that door and everything would click back into place. The bartender knew my drink, the regulars knew my story, and I knew, deep down, she wasn't coming. But I waited. Tense. Bitter. Obsessed with the outcome. That's the trap. Your energy broadcasts need. Need reeks of weakness. Weakness chokes your progress. You become that guy pacing the floor, checking your phone every 5 minutes, staring at the ceiling at 2 a.m. while your life slips by. But when you stop, when you exhale, when you walk out of that bar with your chest open and your mind clear suddenly, the magnet flips. Suddenly, people lean toward your energy. Opportunities brush against your shoulder. She might even walk through the door, but by then you won't need her to. Here's the raw, brutal reality. When you stop needing, you start attracting. When you release that iron grip, the world starts to spin in your favor. Not because the universe is handing out prizes to passive men, but because calm, focused energy is the most magnetic force a man can wield. You ever notice the guy who isn't trying always seems to get the girl? The one who moves through the room with quiet control, who's not pressing for attention, not begging for approval, he's the one they orbit around. That's no accident. That's nature. That's energy. And it starts with letting go of the desperate chase. But don't confuse this for passivity. This isn't weakness disguised as peace. You still show up. You still do the work. You still sharpen your edges every damn day. But you do it without neediness dripping off your skin. You do it with the stillness of a man who knows the right things, the right people, the right moments they unfold, when you're ready, not when you're clenching your fists begging for them. Seneca called it the quiet mind. Epictetus lived by it. Marcus Aurelius ruled by it. They weren't chasing, they were attracting. Through discipline, through detachment, through owning their space. That's what most men miss. They confuse force with power. They think louder means stronger. They think chasing equals ambition. But a stoic man understands relaxation under pressure isn't surrender. It's strategy. When you relax, your vision sharpens. When you let go, your instincts kick in. You can spot the opportunity hiding behind chaos. You can walk through rejection like it's fog on your path. You can hear no and it doesn't rattle your bones. You become untouchable not because life gets easy, but because you stop scrambling like a boy and start commanding like a man. The hardest part, the letting go. Every part of your biology screams to chase. Every insecurity tells you to press harder. But here's the paradox. When you let go, when you breathe, when you relax your grip on life, that's when the current starts pulling everything toward you. That's when you magnetize. It's not luck, it's energy, it's discipline. And I'll show you how to sharpen that edge step by brutal step. You ever watch a wolf move through the wild calm? Unbothered, head-high steps measured. He's not chasing every rabbit like some starving stray. He's conserving energy, observing, letting the hunt unfold when the timing's right. That's masculine power. That's nature's playbook. You don't see the wolf panting, scrambling eyes wild with desperation, because the second you act like you need the outcome, you lose the outcome. You want to manifest success, peace, her attention, your next evolution, you have to be the wolf. Relaxed on the surface, lethal underneath. That's how the universe responds. But most men, they're acting like desperate pups, running circles, biting at shadows, burning their strength for scraps. And they wonder why they feel weak, why nothing lands, why she left, why money slips through their hands like water. It's because neediness repels. Desperation stinks. And whether you believe it or not, everyone, her your boss, your so-called friends, they can smell it. You broadcast it in every word, every glance, every restless shuffle of your feet. You're telling the world, I don't have enough. I'm empty. I need this to complete me. That energy, that's a repellent. The Stoics knew it. They weren't begging for outcomes. They were building themselves so complete that the outcome became irrelevant. You think Marcus Aurelius stayed up at night wondering when the empire would respect him? You think Epictetus twisted in bed, obsessing over when life would hand him a break? No. They operated from fullness. They showed up. They did the work. They stood tall, and life moved around them, not the other way around. You've got to understand this relaxation isn't laziness. It's lethal control. It's the ability to be in chaos and stay cool. That's what flips the magnet. The guy pacing his apartment at 3 a.m., checking his texts, refreshing her profile, rereading the same messages, he's bleeding energy. He's in scarcity. His mind's on fire, his body's tense, and life feels like it's choking him out. But the guy who puts the phone down, steps outside, breathes deep, moves his body, locks into his mission. He radiates something different. And guess what? That's when she texts. That's when opportunities knock. That's when money flows. You're not here to be some frantic, panting dog chasing crumbs. You're here to walk like the king of your own world. Shoulders back, eyes steady. Not because you've got it all figured out, but because you know deep down that needing nothing attracts everything. That's the paradox. The minute you relax, detach, and lock into your purpose, life starts conspiring in your favor. People call it coincidence. Stoics call it alignment. I call it being a man who finally understands the game. Look, I've been there. I've been the guy pressing, forcing, gripping so tight I could barely breathe. Trying to control every angle, every outcome, every conversation, thinking that if I just hustled harder, if I just wanted it bad enough, it'd all fall into place. But all I did was push it further away. Her, success, peace. They don't respond to desperation. They respond to presence, to discipline, to energy so steady it unnerves people. You ever notice how some men walk into a room and people shift? No words, no big entrances, just presence. It's not loud. It's not forced. It's quiet power. That's cultivated. That's the result of mastering the art of relaxed manifestation. They're not chasing approval. They're not needy for outcomes. They're locked into their vision, anchored in their values, and they understand that everything they want is already on the way. The only thing that screws it up is their own frantic energy. And if you've been broken, if you've been left, if life's kicked your teeth in recently, good. That's the pressure testing your steel. That's the moment where most men spiral, where they clench harder, chase more, bleed themselves dry trying to fix the unfixable. But you get to be different. You get to be the wolf, the stoic, the man who breathes, relaxes, sharpens himself, and watches how everything starts aligning when you stop forcing it. I know what you're thinking, the voice in your head's already screaming, but if I don't push, if I don't hustle, I'll lose everything. That's the poison society fed you. They told you hard work means panic. They told you ambition means sleepless nights, knotted stomachs, chasing people, chasing outcomes, chasing your own damn tail. But that's not masculine energy. That's fear disguised as effort. You've been conditioned to believe that tension equals progress. But tension only breeds chaos. Calm breeds results. Here's the raw truth: the world doesn't reward the loudest guy in the room. It rewards the most grounded. You can be loud, you can be aggressive, you can flex all you want. But if your energy reeks of uncertainty, of hunger, of "I need this to feel whole," people pull back. You know why? Because they sense it. You're not grounded. You're desperate. You're a storm that can't control itself. But a storm with control, that's power. Picture this. Two men walk into a room. One's frantic, checking his phone, pacing eyes, darting every sentence, dripping with the unspoken phrase, "Please notice me." The other man, still, calm. His shoulders are heavy with presence, not anxiety. His gaze is steady. He doesn't need the room to validate him. Guess which man everyone gravitates toward? Guess who lands the deal, the connection, the respect, the attention without uttering a word? It's never the frantic one. It's the man who radiates. "I'm whole without this." That's not arrogance. It's alignment. It's the byproduct of a man who's done the work, bled for his own growth, built his foundation so solid he doesn't need external validation to stand tall. He's relaxed, not because life's easy, but because he understands the real game. The game where desperation is weakness and control is king. You don't manifest by clutching at life like a drowning man. You manifest by standing so damn still, so damn sure that life has no choice but to meet you there. You want to know why your success feels distant, why she left, why your body aches with stress. It's because your energy is radiating scarcity. You're moving like there's not enough time, not enough love, not enough opportunities. You're choking the process. But the second you lean back, when you trust the timeline, when you sharpen your edges, when you embody patience without losing your fire, that's when everything shifts. That's when you start pulling life toward you instead of chasing it. I've lived both sides. I've been the desperate man clawing at outcomes, suffocating relationships, burning out my body trying to prove I'm worthy. And I've been the calm one, the grounded one. The man who walks into a room, owns his silence, lets his presence fill the space, and watches as everything starts aligning. Not because I need it to, but because I no longer grip it to death. Relaxation is not weakness. It's the final evolution of masculine control. It's the mark of a man who trusts himself so deeply he doesn't flinch when life tests him. That woman who left you, don't get her back by spiraling. You get her back, if she's even worth your time, by never needing her again. The job, the money, the success, your peace, it doesn't come to the man clenching his fists. It comes to the man who's steady, who's brutal with his discipline but relaxed in his mind. This isn't about letting life float by. This is about moving like a man who already owns the outcome in his bones, who sharpens himself daily but refuses to panic, who plays the long game, who embodies the Stoic principle that control over yourself is the only control that matters. You relax, you grow, you command, not chase, and the universe follows. Most men crumble under pressure because they were never taught this. Never taught that the loudest energy in the room isn't the one that dominates, it's the one that dissolves. Real dominance. It's the quiet undercurrent, the weight behind your words when you barely speak. The stillness behind your eyes when everything's falling apart around you. That's when the world leans in. That's when life starts bending toward you like metal to a magnet. But let me make this brutally clear. Relaxing doesn't mean sitting on your ass, chanting affirmations, waiting for miracles to fall in your lap. That's the weak, diluted version of manifestation the internet sells you. You know better. You're not here for bubblegum philosophy. You're here for the Stoic path, for the masculine edge that says I show up every day. I grind. I build my mind like a fortress. I sharpen my body like a weapon. But when it comes to the outcome, I let go. I don't need it to validate me. I don't need it to complete me. I am already whole. You want her to feel your absence? Stop chasing. You want opportunities to chase you. Stop broadcasting desperation. You want peace, success, clarity. Stop white-knuckling your way through life. The moment you unclench, the moment your shoulders drop, your breath evens, your thoughts quiet, that's when you become dangerous. Not weak, not passive, dangerous. Because a man who's calm under fire terrifies the world. He doesn't rattle. He doesn't chase. He doesn't beg. You ever see a lion stalk his prey? No rushing. No erratic moves. Just controlled, lethal presence. That's you if you choose to be. But most won't. Most will keep spiraling, chasing the next fix, the next text, the next false promise of control. That's why most stay stuck. That's why most repel success without even knowing it. But you're not here to be most men. You're here to embody what few can, a man who walks through rejection, through uncertainty, through the ashes of what he lost and smiles. Not because it doesn't hurt, but because his worth was never tied to what left. The second you relax, you regain control. Not control over her, not control over every twist of life, but control over you, your energy, your reactions, your presence. That's all you ever really had anyway. The rest, it's illusion. It's noise. And when you master that control, you stop chasing outcomes because you've already become the man worthy of them. They chase you. Opportunities. Peace women, they orbit a grounded man. A man who's not scrambling to prove himself. A man whose silence says everything. I know it feels unnatural at first. Your instincts will scream to grip tighter when things fall apart, to chase when you feel empty, to force when you feel weak. But weakness isn't what you feel when you let go. Weakness is what festers when you never trust yourself enough to stop chasing. So breathe. Stand still. Relax like the lion before the hunt, like the Stoic unmoved by chaos. And watch how the world starts moving for you. The hardest lesson. It's understanding that neediness is the disease of men who've lost themselves. You weren't born needy. You were born whole. But life chipped away at you. That breakup, it cracked your armor. The rejection, it rattled your confidence. The failures. They whispered that maybe, just maybe, you're not enough. And that whisper turned into a roar inside your head. So you started gripping tighter, chasing harder, bleeding yourself for scraps of approval, for fleeting victories, for validation that never sticks. But here's the truth. The most dangerous man in the room is the one who needs nothing. Nothing from her. Nothing from society. Nothing from outcomes. He plays the game, sure, but the game doesn't define him. He steps onto the battlefield every day, business, relationships, life, but whether he wins or loses, it doesn't shake him. His worth isn't up for negotiation. His mind isn't swayed by external chaos. His foundation is internal. That's the Stoic edge most men will never taste. You think Marcus Aurelius wrote Meditations because his life was easy. You think Epictetus found peace because people handed him success. Hell no. Their worlds burned just like yours might be burning now, but they didn't spiral. They didn't chase outcomes like scared boys. They built themselves so resilient, so detached from the need for control, that life's chaos became background noise. That breakup, that's background noise. The lost job, noise. The uncertainty, the rejection, the silence. All noise when your internal foundation is unshakable. And yeah, it feels like hell at first. You'll want to check your phone. You'll want to chase closure. You'll want to grip tighter to what's slipping away. That's your weakness talking. That's the version of you that dies off when you relax. The man you're becoming, the grounded, dangerous, unfazed version, he knows better. He knows manifestation isn't about clenching your fists and screaming at the universe. It's about walking so aligned, so steady, so damn certain that the universe bends to meet you. Because here's what most won't tell you: the more you chase, the further you drift from yourself. You lose your posture. You lose your edge. You become the frantic energy that repels everything you want. But when you relax, you magnetize. You sharpen. You reclaim your masculinity, your confidence, your stillness under pressure. And suddenly, the world starts orbiting you not because you begged for it, but because you embodied it. You want to manifest everything you desire. You want her to regret leaving. You want life to finally open the damn floodgates. Stop chasing, start building, relax your grip, sharpen your presence, trust the process not with blind hope, but with brutal discipline and zero desperation. That's how the Stoics did it. That's how kings walk. That's how you win. And here's the hardest pill to swallow: the minute you finally stop needing it, that's when it shows up. But by then, something inside you's different. You're not the man crawling on broken glass for scraps of attention. You're not lying awake dissecting every text, every glance, every ghosted conversation like it's your life's purpose. You've killed that version of yourself. The weak, frantic boy died the moment you chose to relax, the moment you chose to sharpen your presence instead of your panic. That's when you stopped being a beggar and started being a magnet. Look, it doesn't mean the pain vanishes overnight. I've sat with the ache in my chest, the hollow space where love used to live. I've stared at the ceiling at 3 a.m., the echo of her voice haunting the room, every corner screaming, "You lost." I know what it feels like to grip so tight your hands shake, thinking if you just hold on harder, life won't take more from you. But here's the truth: clenching doesn't protect you, it suffocates you. You don't lock down your future by panicking your way through the present. The man who manifests everything he wants, he's not playing defense. He's walking offense, calm, quiet, lethal. He's not scrambling for validation, he embodies it. He's not chasing peace, he radiates it. That's the Stoic blueprint: brutal and raw. Master your mind. Relax your energy. Control your reactions. Let go of the rest. You can't own her choices. You can't fast-forward success. You can't force life to obey your timeline. But you can own you, and that's the only leverage you ever needed. There's a reason they say control the controllable and release the rest. Because every second you burn energy trying to dictate the uncontrollable, you lose ground on mastering yourself. You lose your posture. You lose your presence. You become a slave to outcomes. And the universe doesn't serve slaves. It serves kings. It serves the calm, anchored, unshakable man who shows up with nothing to prove but everything to command. You want her back. You want success in your palms. You want peace in your chest when the world falls apart. Relax. Not with weakness, with terrifying calm. Relax like a man so locked into his values, so grounded in his purpose, the outcome becomes secondary. You're not chasing her, you're becoming the man she regrets losing. You're not begging life for scraps, you're building a life so complete the world leans in to be part of it. That's manifestation, not fairy dust, not empty affirmations, discipline, presence, relaxed masculine power. And when you carry that, you stop chasing, and everything starts chasing you. You don't get her back by waiting. You get her back by never needing her again. Like this video, share it with a brother who needs it, and subscribe to the channel. Drop your thoughts in the comments. I read everyone.